What is going on, Fumble fam? It's your boy Chris, but you can find me everywhere at CK2K. Now, we are on our last week of these seeding games before we have our possible playing game for that 8th seed, well, at least in the Western Conference. We'll get into all that, but make sure you guys subscribe right here, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to like this video for your boy. Now, let's get started with the hottest team in the bubble right now, the Phoenix Suns. Nope, pun intended. Let's move on into it. The first game on the docket for the day was the Phoenix Suns versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, where the Suns' winning streak and their playoff hopes, were still on the line. Luckily, the Thunder chose to sit all their key players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Steven Adams, while the Suns were playing at 100%. This game seemed like the Thunder were just coasting since they already had their playoff spot locked in, which I'm sure the Suns fans are not really too upset about because Boucher carried the Valley Boys to yet another win with a strong night consisting of 35 points. Book also shot 14 total free throws and made all of them. That's a lot of free throws. That's James Harden level free throws. A lot of free throws by Book. But the final score of this entire game was 128-101. Easy win for the Suns. And the game was pretty close all the way up until about the third quarter, where the Suns went on a rampage, extending their win streak to 6 games. The Suns are now a half a game behind the Blazers for that 9th seed. And even more importantly, they're just 1 game behind the Grizzlies for the 8th seed. Now, although it ended in a blowout, the win was important for the Suns in their run for the playoffs. Now, let's move on to our next game with the Mavs and the Jazz. The Jazz and the Mavs faced off next, where both teams have already locked their spots in the 2020 NBA playoffs, but the Mavs had a chance to possibly snag that 6th seed away from the Jazz. That being said, both teams went into this game without key players making out to this game, like the Mavs, who played without their 2 best players in Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis, and the Jazz played without Donovan Mitchell, and they gave all the minutes to the starters to the second unit, even though some of the starters still played in the game. That being said, the Jazz leading scorer for today's game was Jordan Clarkson, who scored 18 points with only needing 14 minutes of play. Other than that, the rest of the Jazz stats they weren't really entertaining at all. On the other side, the Mavericks role players took full control of the opportunity with Tim Hardaway Jr., Seth Curry, and everybody's favorite center, Boban, all pouring 20-plus points for this game. Seth Curry and THJ made it look easy from the 3, while Boban took advantage in the paint. Now, the Mavs have 2 games left in the seeding round, and if the Jazz lose their final game while the Mavs win their last 2, they can actually slip up to the 6th seed. Did you guys get all that? So, Jazz got to lose, Mavs win the next 2, they can move up to 6. We'll talk about it later in the rankings. Either way, let's get into what should have been the game of the night, which was round 2 between TJ Warren and Jimmy Buckets in the Pacers versus the Heat game. Now, this was the rematch that we all have been waiting for, and sadly, well, it didn't live up to the hype. I mean, the Heat smashed the Pacers 114-92 behind none other than Jimmy Buckets himself. Jimmy Butler led the Heat with a modest 19 points and 11 boards with a complete attack from the rest of the Heat squad. And Adebayo did what he did best. He had a very well-rounded game and also had a slam dunk that looked a lot like this.
Been averaging 35 a game in the restart, top scorer in the bubble. Bam! Oh, a bam slam and a huge one for him.
Now, on the other side of things, Indiana did not look like the team that they have looked like so far in the bubble. I mean, we had TJ Warren, who has been the best scorer in the bubble, probably outside of Devin Booker, who only scored 12 points, which is crazy because he had those 12 points in the first half and then didn't score again for the rest of the game. Victor Oladipo, who wasn't even a part of the original battle, didn't even add much either, and neither did any other player that was on the Pacers for tonight's matchup. That win gives the Heat the edge in the standings against the Pacers as they sit comfortably in the 4th seed, but we will be ready for the playoff series between them and the Pacers because the Pacers are right behind them at the 5th seed. So this battle is not over yet, and hopefully the battle doesn't continue to look like it did tonight. But last but not least, Laker fans, stand up. We will be talking about the Late Show. That's right. The last game of the night was between the Lakers and the Nuggets, and this game came down to the wire. But I got to say, it's got to be a little worrisome when you have the majority of your starters closing out and they're struggling against the lower half of the other team's bench. And that's not shade. I'm not trying to just cast any shade on Laker fans. I know I may be a Laker hater from time to time, but it didn't even matter because the Lakers were able to win this game off of this insane game-winning bucket from Kyle Kuzma.
Anthony Davis picked up by Bull. Here comes Kuzma for the win. Got it! 0.4 to go. They got the lead.
That's right. With that buzzer beater, the Lakers managed to hobble to a win against the Nuggets, 124-121, behind strong games by pretty much Lakers big three and LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Kyle Kuzma. Who would have thought? LeBron James, who dropped a double-double off of a 29-point and 12-assist night. But Kyle Kuzma showed up when they needed him because he dropped a total 25 points, shooting 69% from the field. Nice. Now, it wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. The Nuggets hit them with a balanced attack with 8 different players on that team in double digits, and they played very efficiently. Michael Porter Jr. shot 100% from the field with 15 points, leading all Nuggets in scoring. It was a big win for the struggling Lakers, though, but hopefully this can be the start of the groove that this number 1 overall team in the Western Conference needed, okay, because they've been looking a little raggedy, ranking last in damn near every stat, but we all know once LeBron James gets in the playoffs, does that even matter? So whatever it may be. And speaking of playoffs, let's get into the rankings because we have some updates. Not many, but we do have some updates to get to y'all with the playoff hunt for right now. So yet again, even though we had a crazy showdown between the Heat and the Pacers, we don't really have any drastic changes in the Eastern Conference, like at all. But for the one time, let's remind y'all of the top 8 in the Eastern Conference. Starting off at number 1 with the Milwaukee Bucks, number 2 with the Toronto Raptors, number 3 with the Boston Celtics, 4 with the Miami Heat, 5 with the Indiana Pacers. I'm looking forward to that series if that stays there. Number 6 with the 76ers, 7 with the Brooklyn Nets, and 8 with the Orlando Magic. So, and I'm not even talking about the Wizards because the Wizards have not won a single game and they will be packing their bags here in a few days. Now, we did have a few changes in the Western Conference today after all the games and all the action that we had on Monday. And obviously, nothing really happened with the Lakers, even though, you know, they did win that game in dramatic fashion. They are solidified and they're at the top of the Western Conference. But with the Suns winning their game, they are now a game behind the Grizzlies for that 8th seed and only a half game behind the Blazers, who are sitting at the 9th seed. We also had a slight shift in the mix with the Mavs beating the Jazz, inching them a game closer to possibly snagging that 6th seed. Here's what the West looks like right now. We got the Lakers at 1, Clippers at 2, the Denver Nuggets at 3, Houston Rockets at 4, the Oklahoma City Thunder at 5, Jazz at 6, Mavericks at 7, Grizzlies at 8. And we know we have to talk about that little playing game. And right now in the hunt for that playing game is the Blazers, Suns, and the Spurs. Getting juicy over there. But now they're all caught up on all the standings and all the rankings. Let's go over to my favorite moments from Monday's action. Now, Devin Booker is starting us off, making it look way too damn easy from the logo, hitting this crazy shot.
Easily again approaching the 20-point mark. Had the career high 23 yesterday. Booker, my goodness, from the logo, and he still knocks it down.
That thing was so damn clean that you could see that the net barely even moved. And I don't know, Devin Booker is just out of his mind right now. I know the TNT cast was joking, but if there was a bubble MVP, Devin Booker would be having that. And I'm starting to think that the Suns are just so used to not having any fans in the stands that this no fans thing isn't really bothering them at all. And that's why they're continuing to play well while other teams are adjusting. That's my little shade at the Suns. But moving on, we're going to go to my boy Chris Boucher from the Toronto Raptors, who had a crazy slam in their game. Now, amidst the beating the Raptors were giving the Bucks, Chris Boucher dropped one of the craziest slams I've ever seen. But I need you to hear the announcer's enthusiasm with this dunk.
The pass stolen. Boucher! Oh! Bringing it down from Montreal! Yeah, that's what I'm saying!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you know what? To me, it's good to see that not all of these teams' announcers are bad, because I've been watching some of these teams, like the Suns. As excited as they are, their announcing team is so bad. So it's good to see that at least the Raptors got, enthusiastic announcing squad. But moving on to Kyle Kuzma and Anthony Davis. Now, the Lakers were working it through Anthony Davis to begin that entire game. And LeBron James has said that is when the Lakers play their best. And I think Kyle Kuzma agrees. Look at this incredible alley-oop that Kuz had to Anthony Davis.
Outside by Morris. Now here comes Kuzma. Up high for Davis with a tomahawk.
Now the dunk was dope, but I'm giving all that credit to Kuzma because that pass was great. At first, because I thought Kuzma was doing one of his little scoop shots that normally goes in, but nah, that was a great pass by Kyle Kuzma. Now let's pivot from those insane highlights to what's been going on in social media, and we're going to start with none other than Devin Booker yet again. Now Devin Booker was hot yet again for his Phoenix Suns in that game against the Thunder. He was so hot that Devin Booker decided to take his swag from the court to Instagram because he saw a photo that was posted by Kendall Jenner. Now, she had posted this photo right here, yes, and she simply just put a strawberry emoji as her caption. And if you look real closely, you see Devin Booker responded by saying, "I like strawberries." I mean, if you can hit this shot in the game, I mean, we can say that shot on IG at least stands a chance. I don't know. Devin Booker was hot. We'll see what happens. There's also been rumors that he posted or his shot on Instagram or Twitter was liked by Kendall Jenner. So maybe there's some future there. I don't know. I don't care enough. But let's go over to the craziness that was the Pacers and the Miami Heat, because the fan battle was getting wild. Now, prior to the rematch that everybody was looking forward to between the Pacers and the Heat, Indy fans as well as Miami fans took to Twitter to let everyone know whose side they were on. Now, Pacers fans, they used this photo of TJ. Yeah, look at TJ looking mad. Okay. And you can see right here by all these tweets of Indy fans, they were getting ready for the game. All these different Indiana fans changed their profile picture to that picture TJ with hashtag Pacers Twitter, all kinds of crazy stuff. And then on the other side, Miami fans used this photo with Jimmy Butler. Yeah, Jimmy Butler, blowing his kiss, the famous picture. And then they tweeted in support of the Miami Heat, doing the same thing. All of them changing their profile pictures, to Jimmy Butler blowing the kiss. W's done, whatnot. It's funny. It is actually pretty entertaining. And we're actually going to get back to that right now because we know the results went in the Heat's favor. Now, after taking that game against the Pacers in perfect trolling fashion, the Miami Heat account themselves added that same Jimmy Butler kiss picture as their new profile picture. They also added hashtag Heat Twitter, we're with you always, with your kiss emoji. Sorry, Pacers fans. Y'all really ain't got a damn thing to say about that because you lost the game. But hey, playoffs are going to be dope when y'all play each other. All right, now we're going to move over to Danny Green because Danny Green was trending for me, and it has been very apparent in Lakerland. Danny Green has been struggling in the bubble, and it seems like every time the Lakers play, Danny Green, like I said, is trending for all the wrong reasons. This post, though, had me rolling. Lake Show Yo tweeted out this picture with the caption saying, "Danny Green on the Lakers." Can you guys guess which one is Danny Green on the Lakers? Look, I don't know, man. I still think he can turn it all around, but it's got to be a scary damn thing for Laker fans to see because he has been off, like all the way off. But you know who wasn't off? Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma, we mentioned earlier, hit the game-winning shot that won the game for them against Denver. And look, Kyle Kuzma has been getting a lot of, hate, ridicule all season long from Laker fans, from non-Laker fans, and from people like myself. And well, after he hit that game-winning shot, Laker fans are issuing that haters like myself sign a Kyle Kuzma apology form. No, I'm serious. It looks a lot like this, and as you can see, it has all kinds of different boxes for Kyle Kuzma haters to check off, from the media convinced me he was done to I didn't watch the actual games, or I don't know basketball, or Mercury was ready, blah, 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 blah. Look, Laker fans, I am not signing that stupid Kuzma apology form until he does that more consistently. And on that note, I will say, good game, Kyle Kuzma. Now, please keep doing that so I can stop hating on you, because I do like you as a dude. I just wish you would just, live up to the hype. But anyway, talk to me in the comments. Do any of you guys need to actually sign the Kyle Kuzma apology form too? And if you do, will you do it? Let me know all of your thoughts about that and everything else that we talked about in this video. Be sure that you tune in to tomorrow's recap right here on the Fumble. But make sure you subscribe right here, right now. Hit the notification bell. Don't forget to like this video. It's me, your boy Chris. Everywhere's DK2K. Catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.